Welcome to a new video dedicated to the new MJX product, and this is a direct competitor of the Epson H501A. So it's nothing else than 311mm quadcopter brushless with some 1106 brushless motor and on 2-speed at 1800 kb, and a Wi-Fi module able to broadcast the in 720p HD resolution the FPV signal in the 5.8 GHz band and more. Installed on top, you have a 1080p camera able to shoot such kind of video with a wide angle, at least 120 degrees field of view. Lens is associated. On the bottom side, you have a micro SD slot where it's strongly advised to install class 10 card, okay, and the rest is really mimicking the Epson. The design is cool with these two eyes, a little bit aggressive, but the plastic is different from the Epson. We have more polished plastic here, not super flexible but high quality plastic versus a more matte one, high quality for the Epson. I a little bit prefer the Epson type of plastic. On the rear you can find installed on top the XT30 connector, but you have a proprietary battery associated with, ending with an XT30 connector. It means that you will be able to easily install a normal battery with such cable without any problem. A more stronger, more larger capacity than the 1800 milliamps powers LiPo. As you can see, the XT30 connector, the balancer plug. So if you want to use a charger, normal charger, it's possible. It's a 2S LiPo, 1800 milliamps powers, rated 25C, so not so bad for large capacity. It's jailed into a plastic casing, but as I said previously, you can install directly a normal battery. Motors are brushless, 1806, and props are locked, okay, I will show. And with some it's a 5mm shaft section, and you have this type of O-ring, plastic O-rings, to definitively secure the installation, so you cannot install any type of props. You have a bag, a spare one here, okay, and thanks to luckily they give these accessories I didn't bring here, with such O-rings, or maybe install it in the bags, okay, like this probably. Yes, it's like this. So you have this bag with a screwdriver, a tool to remove easily the prop guard, and look that you have this spare 4 transparent O-rings to attach if you lose some, and maybe to attach some other props. The props are exactly the same size as the Epson modem. I told you exactly they're trying to copy the most of elements, the key success element of the Epson product. So this module broadcast the FPV signal in 720p resolution, so you will need to download your iOS or Android application, okay, and unfortunately in the application we will see in a few moments, you don't have such advanced features like the Epson offer. Anyway, what you have a GPS module, so you have at least a return to home, GPS stabilization, okay, but for example no mission planning, okay, actually in the interface. It's a drawback. Let's continue to see. I didn't see any micro USB port to update a firmware. Okay, it's also, so it's fixed, and you can guess on the bottom side the Wi-Fi module and the camera module attached. So in terms of weight, a little bit lighter. It's something about 450 grams or 350 grams with a battery installed. A little bit more lighter, something about 20 grams if I'm not wrong. Okay, that's a good point. The autonomy is announced to be around 20 minutes with a battery, and you have some pads with some lights, changing lights according to the statute of the quadcopter. So for example, very useful for the compass calibration. An important point, for each flight you will need to perform the compass calibration. So it could be problematic, could be boring, could be annoying, but it's like this. For the transmitter, we have the classic MJX chassis, okay, where on the left top you will be able to find the remaining battery of the transmitter. I installed some NEMH battery. This is why I don't have the full charge of the battery. On the right we have the battery level of the quadcopter, standby telemetry. Here we have the normal number of satellite received, the current altitude and the current distance to the takeoff. Okay, we are in mode 2, but you can change the mode. You have 4 different modes, very easy. If you press here, you engage headless mode, and here you are in GPS stabilize, and if you turn on to the left, you are in pure manual flight without GPS assistance. For the button, we have this red button is to arm, or if you long press to disarm the motors. I would prefer the inverse, long press to arm and short press to disarm. It will be more safe, okay? And this one is the takeoff button, okay? And this one is the return to home, okay? And this one, short press to take photos, long press to start recording. You can do the both through the application. I will explain in a few moments. Basic transmitter, but the control range is announced to be close to 1 kilometer thanks to the RF shift A7105, the same use for the FlySky protocol. So we have the two-way protocol to some telemetry information ascents and update on the small LCD display. Okay, so the protocol is the same than the Bug 3, but not the same than the Bug 6 review some time ago. So now it's time to discover the interface. I forgot to mention this small element. This is a phone holder. You will need to attach on your transmitter like this, inverse, until you hear the click, and then just need to install it like this. Okay, and unfortunately you cannot install a super big model. 6-inch smartphone is okay, but no tablet is really a drawback. Why not worry the tablet can be installed, because I will use a tablet today. Anyway, it's like this. Important for the instruction manual, you have this small piece of paper indicating that how it works in different countries for the 5.8 GHz. If you have meet some problem with your smartphone or tablet, there are mainly 2 types of band channel supported for the 5.8 GHz with Wi-Fi, and to select one of the 2 modes, you will need to press the photo button more than 8 seconds to keep it until you hear beeps, and then you will be able to select the second type of channel for the 5.8 GHz. Personally, I didn't have to do that. It was working from my smartphone directly. That's a good point. So now let's take a look to the interface and where to download it and explain the main button. Okay, so we need to open a web browser. Okay, and it's already done, and you will have to go to the mjxrc.net. On the main page you will find the Bugs 2 dedicated pages, and on the bottom, okay, you scroll down, go to the download section in the App Center main column, press download, and in this case you will be able to download the application. Okay, on the right, click on the right application, you will download directly the APK file and install it. You will need to in your settings of Android to be able to install any APK external source, but it's okay. And when it's done, you will be able to run the software, okay, Bugs Go. And in this case, you can press help and you can display the current version. Actually is version 3.1.2, okay, on bottom side, and then press to go. So the first things to do is to turn on the machine, obviously, and to enter and select the right Wi-Fi device. Okay, so I will pour the machine, and the first things you will need to push the balancer plug into the hole, in the rear hole, to be sure that you will be able to connect. There is just a small free room, okay, and then no problem. In general, you will need to press hard. Okay, it's a little bit stiff to insert, but it's done. Okay, and then install it on the flat surface. Okay, and then the first time you will need to keep press the red button while turning the machine. It will bind the quadcopter. Okay, the first time both the transmitter and the receiver are not bound together, and when it's done, you will see on the right side FPV link FPV link, the RX link, so it means that the transmission between both is done. I will turn off the headless mode. Okay, and actually, as you can see, no GPS received. It's normal because first you will need to plug your connect to the Wi-Fi your machine. So I will go to the settings, and after a couple of seconds, if your 5.8 GHz channel is right selected, you will be able to connect. It's already connected, so I will be able to run the Bug 2, and I will press go. And as you can see, you have very nice and crisp 720p feedback. Okay, and the latency, of course, it's as you can see, is something about 0.2, 0.3 seconds. Don't expect too much, and you know that versus the distance, this latency will increase as well. You may drop some frame. Okay, it's a consequence of digital transmission, but it's not a racer, so who cares? Okay, it's not a real problem. So let's describe a little bit the icons on top. So you can trigger photos or camera recording either by the application or by your transmitter. So you have a 3D view, completely useless, the camera, photos, camera, and a folder to open the recorded file. Okay, you can select, and then you have a button 180 to flips. Okay, it's not, or to mirror the video. Here is to remove completely the application. So I don't know where to. I will repress. I don't know how to make reappearing the the elements. Is to have a full display. The FPV link. Okay. And an arrow to return to the main menu. Okay, that's all. Nothing else. Okay, no specific advanced mission planning or advanced flight mode available. So the first thing you will need is to perform the compass calibration. So I will, and to do that is super easy. Take your quadcopter, and the first is to move horizontally. So turn 3 times. 1, 2, relatively fast, 3, until you can see some green flashing rear. Okay, then nose down and turn on. The same to the right. Okay, 3 times until the LEDs become solid like this. It's calibrated. So perfect. Now you will be able to read the GPS number, GPS receive 14 actually, so it's great. We are ready to take off. So I inserted a class 10 micro SD card. One word about the camera module. Observe that on the media file that this setting of the camera use a variable number of frame, and during some pre-test flight observe that the frame was, the lowest frame rate was down to 6 frames and up to 16. Usually you are playing more with the bit rate when you have a scene hard to encode with a lot of details. In general, it's better to decrease the bit rate to encode this scene. Okay, their choice is more to decrease the number of frames. So it means that in practice your video will be choppy. Okay, with some, especially when your turn, fast your turn, you will see that it will be you will lose some frame, and it's a really bad choice from MJX to did that. Okay, I hope, I'm not sure, and I'm afraid it will be not, but a new firmware for the camera module can be updated by installing a file at the root folder of the micro SD card, and to change this stupid option from MJX in my point of view. Okay, so it's time to take off, and today is 0 wind free, and we'll press the button. Just press the red button and the motor will spin. Okay, so now it's time to take off. Press the takeoff button if you want, and the machine will take off. Okay, and now it's time to record. I've got some variation in altitude. It's not keeping in altitude. Okay, 14 satellite, and I will press recording. And I've got the logo as well appearing on the display of the FPV signal. That's great. So let's take some altitude and let's see. So no speed mode available actually. I hope it will be in this altitude, 28 meters, but it's shifting a lot. And I'm descending. Look at that. I don't know why. It's descending. The altitude stabilization is not efficient. I don't know why. 14 satellites should be okay. Anyway, it could be problematic. Look at that. The altitude 3 meters, 2 meters, and still descending. Really problematic. So I will climb again and try to perform some smooth footage while turning, for example. But the machine is flying well. You can feel some powers. I try to look on the same time to the FPV link, pretty good on my tablet. Okay, and let's go in altitude. In the machine is relatively fast. 100 meters. The FPV signal is super great. 44 meters high. 100, and I'm descending slowly, but I'm descending. Of course, you have a return to home button in any case. 161 meters. The FPV link is great, no problem. I will go down, so no problem with it. And it's a fast machine, look at that. Wow, it's a super fast machine, I'm surprised. I will go down fast. It's a relatively silent machine. You have a lot of like a big boat. Look, that is descending. Well. Okay, I don't know why, but it's descending. Look at that. I will see until touch the ground. Wow, with the ground effect is not touching. It's not super obvious. So let's try a bit to return where I've been. But it's super fast machine. I like. No problem with the telemetry information. And as I said previously, the control range is super great. More than 200 meters. And I still have a strong FPV signal. I hope you will be able to see. Okay, look at that. My signal is still here. No problem. 225 meters. 15 satellite. Still descending. Okay. Slowly, 1 meter per every 5 seconds. 39 meters. Okay, let's try to engage. I lost the connection. Anyway, let's try to engage return to home. Okay, I will press the return to home. Okay, top left shoulder button, and look at that. It's returning. Okay, now I recollect the signal. At any moment you can stop the return to home functionalities by pressing the same button. Okay. perfect, working perfectly. I'm still recording, going down slowly. $20 meters, descending. The descent rate is good, and well, I can say that the landing precision is pretty good. I should have something, a deviation of maximum, well, 2 meters maximum. Whoa. Okay, I took off here, here. Okay, 2 meters, not so bad. I will stop recording to save some things, okay? And it's updated on the application, that's great. And let's take off one more time. You have to press recording first. Okay, and press the arming button first, and press the takeoff, the black one, the left lower one, to take off. Super assisted. This time the stabilization, no, you want to descend each time. Okay, so let's try a top speed of this machine. It's fast, huh? For a 2S system, GPS assisted, not so bad. Look at that top speed. Oh. Be aware you have the PIDs have been set to stabilize video, so it's not a super system. So I will try to climb a bit. The battery is okay, so 20 minutes, and try to see if I can trigger in altitude the sea at the background. $62 meters. Yes, I can see the sea. You know, don't go too high. It's now in most of countries is limited. You don't know what happened. It's close to. And look on the background. The feel of the stabilization is more or less the same than the absent product. Okay, there is no electronic stabilization, but I really like how the video is crisp. The light sensitivity is correct, maybe a little bit better, but the frame rate, okay, by moment will block a bit. You will decrease suddenly from, I don't know. So I can say how high I am, but pretty high, and like make a panorama tour. Beautiful spot. Of course, no stabilization. Anyway, I will time to descend. So we see if we will meet some vortex of the death, you know, or by descending vertically, you have less pressure on the props, and in fact, the machine is the control algorithm of the PIDs cannot do their works perfectly, and this is why the machine is unstable, because there are less lift, okay, due to the less payload capacity of the machine. I don't know if you understood me well, but it's more or less this explanation. I really like how this machine flies. Superb flyers. So what I regret, the non-presence of a mission planner, and to be honest, the absent application, it's much better than this MJX one. So What is better for the MJX products? The camera rendition, the 1080p rendition, in my point of view, is much more crisp, okay, and precise, but the frame rate is not constant. And so the video, I think, is choppy. Even whatever the class 10 with the super writing speed, etc. you will use, you will observe some frame rate, some lost frames time to times. Okay. Where I am looking. Okay, I am here. Usually they used to have some ship around, but they are no more here. The machine is super fast. You can very easily do 1 kilometer of distance without any problem. And okay, I start to have a beep. I don't know which one is it. Probably my So you have to know that in terms of safety functions, if you are more than 20 meters high, something like this, or 15, the machine will engage a return to home. If you are less, the machine, in emergency case, will perform a landing, emergency landing. Okay, so be aware of that. So, but I don't know why it's beeping. Maybe because I use some NEMH battery, and because I got 2 bar remaining for the quadcopter battery, so it should be okay. And that's good with all new MJX Bugs products. You have some telemetry feedback. You can hear the machine beeping. Blah blah. He's not happy. Oh, what I want to do is I forgot to do it. Is a manual flight. Okay, so I will stop recording. Okay. Okay. And turn the manual, turn off the GPS. Okay, now I am pure assistant flight mode, so I should be faster. You should have an altimeter, a barometer, because he's still keeping his altitude. Wow. Yes, this is... The flight time is pretty good. You look the maximum yaw rate. Let's try to take a pictures. Close to the trees. Okay, shoot some basic photos. Machine flying pretty well. I'm very positively surprised by the range and the FPV link, thanks to this new type of 5.8 GHz, probably with lesser interferences, because the 2.4 GHz ESM band is fully occupied by many sources, and the 5.8 GHz is less. So even if in terms of distance, the higher frequency you have, less range you can have, but if it's less polluted by it can be look that I think I will start to press the okay. Wow, I engage emergency. It's beeping a lot. Okay, you have a longer beep now, so it say, oh, it's time to land immediately. So okay, I will conclude. okay, and about this MJX. And no power switch, it's really drawback. Anyway, it's like this. And what about really in terms of flyers, it's sporty, a little bit more sporty than the Absent project in my point of view. But the rates, the PIDs have been set to stabilize as much as possible the video, so you have a lot of inertia, so it means that the P and I value are very high, I would say, and so the goal is to optimize and stabilize as much as possible the video. So you don't have any electronic stabilization. Probably the next generation of project, Option, etc. will include. But anyways, like this, the flight time is great. 15 minutes without any problem. The counter range is great. The FPV link is great. 200-250 meters without any problem. You can have that. And if you use some new Wi-Fi range extender, also working in 5.8 GHz, powered by a power bank, you can probably even go further. I like the telemetry feedback of on your transmitter, the RSSI, the battery voltage. Now also you have the distance and the altitude eye is very useful, maybe missing the heading. And what I don't like is the actual camera settings with a variable frame, okay, instead of the bit rate, so making the video recording sometime choppy with some frame lost. What I don't like is the application is missing at least a mission planner, okay, and orbit mode or follow me that the Absent have, and unfortunately I don't think the this MJX project would be can be considered as a real competitor of the H501A, maybe more for the S version. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please sub it, and see you next time. Bye bye.